Good morning, everybody. Welcome, Cristina. So, Kiko, this is the biggest cosmetic brand in Italy in terms of turnover. Can we say that? Yes, of course. It is the biggest one. This is a relevant aspect. Well, you joined Kiko 4 years ago, right? In a turnaround situation, there was a turning point, let's say. How did you do? Then there were COVID, yeah, there was any kind of stuff. I joined the company in July 2017, so my birthday week, and there was a great challenge I wanted to address. So I wanted to take on this biggest, as you said, cosmetic brand in Italy, but also a small multinational, since we are talking about a company with a 600 million turnover in 70 countries with 7,000 employees. I wanted to bring it out of these difficult years. There was some growth, but there were also some difficulties. So we set up a new team with the best of the company, some new talents, old talents. Some of them coming from abroad. So we closed some markets, for example, US, this was not the right choice for us. And we also were brave enough, 14% of the shops were closed. And unleashing these resources, we could also invest in a product innovation, digital transformation, and e-commerce as well. So we couldn't predict this pandemic, but these strategic choices helped us a lot through the pandemic. Between 2018 and 2019, we brought forward this transformation process, which was very intense. And thanks to that, we could also increase the effectiveness of our company. We could double EBITDA rate of Kiko. We also celebrated maybe for 10 days or something like that on the 20th of February 2019. We saw that we had finally doubled our EBITDA rate. And after 10 days, we had patient number one and the outbreak of the pandemic. But we did not give up. And we tried to work harder and harder, and we kept opening shops and points of sale. 99% of shops in 27 markets were closed in 2020, but we joined Saudi Arabia, the Balkans, Greece. We have 40 shops more or less, and the growth path was great. 150, you closed 150 shops, right, in the previous years, and then you open anyway 40 shops in 2020, right? Yes, correct. Data up to now say that we are at minus 50 compared to the starting point. 140, 150 were closed and 100 were opened, and they are very, very rewarding at the moment. We want to keep accelerating and speeding up. We want to have 10 new franchising shops and 100 shops for 2021, 2022 and 2023. 300 shops for a company like ours means growth by 1/3. That is to say, the good news is that we could also create 1,000 jobs, which is a great point now, for the time being. I don't remember if you said that or not, but during COVID you decided also to continue investing, right? And you decided also to finance your company, right? Yes, of course, COVID. We are retailers, we are a cosmetic, we are proudly cosmetic brand, but we are also retailers. We were one of the sectors that were very strongly stuck by the crisis. In April 2020, we closed 90% of the shops, and in Italy we had a lot of, but there were also other countries that closed all the activities for several months. So the retail sector worldwide had a downturn of 35-40% less than before, and we also lost 1/3 of our turnover. So it was a very, very serious downturn. We tried to deal with this problem of cash with a refinancing plan of 270 million euros, 100 million euros guaranteed and granted by SACE. And this also gave us the opportunity not to stop because we wanted not to give up and we wanted also to mm, give this kind of continuity for competing with our international competitors, investing a lot of money in e-commerce. So if you come to a standstill, then there is no pandemic more, and then you have difficulties, and they don't. I mean, you were talking about franchising. I don't know if this was one of the strategies you also had in this company before you joined the company or not. But how is it included in the offer of Kikon? You are direct retailers, you are a direct brand. What is your view on that? Well, when I joined the company, we didn't have any franchising shop. Then we had this idea of this turnaround, as we call it, so this turning point, this transformation plan. We wanted to make Kiko not just a regional or South European company, but a global company. But when you want to open up 10 new markets every year, then either you are strong enough and solid enough from the financial point of view, or you have to make use of franchising. This is a tool that allows you to find new penetration markets with a very reliable and competent partner who has a perfect knowledge of the local dimension. You have less costs, fewer investments, and you can also be faster. Starting from 2019, we opened new markets and we will open new markets also in the future. All of them will be franchising markets. Then we also have some other markets where we are already present. We will manage them directly. We have three main channels at the moment: retail, e-commerce, and the third one is franchising. The objective is to have a fair and an equal distribution among between these channels. Well, what about split payment? Do you have a split payment solution for e-commerce? Yes, we do have it. I confirm what the previous speakers said, but all these brands are affordable. Yeah. Well, where do you see this company in the future? The idea of setting up a global company. How do you see it placed in the next few years? In the next 3 years, we would like to access and penetrate 20 new markets, so 50 markets in total. And then we can be considered as a global company, 1,200, 1,300 points of sale, and we would like to be an omnichannel company. That is to say, a company that is able to have this integration of physical and virtual, online and offline. We do believe in all this retail sector. We think it has not disappeared. Well, traditional retail has disappeared, but there is another way of doing retail. Retail must be a place where you don't have just products, but also services and experiences. We will keep opening and investing, but we have to accelerate, omnichannelity or this omnichannel dimension. So this is a continuous interaction, and also online is a tool to analyze new markets, right? New marketplaces, yes, of course. In 2018 in China, in China, e-commerce accounts for 40% of the market, so it's a huge market. Well, this gave us an amount of data sets, so very different consumers compared to ours. So we wanted to get ready for that. We wanted to make progresses, but it was we were skeptical at the beginning because the market is completely different, so it is very risky. Here, you can do something in a more reasoned way, let's say. You can prepare yourself, you can get ready for that. Well, concerning brands and the image we have in Italy compared to other brands abroad, well, we know Kiko in Italy, but how is that lived and perceived in foreign countries? It is even younger and perceived by millennials, Gen Z. We are Italians. We have awareness, which is very high in our country. We have a penetration, which is very high. So our market share is very high. So when you have such a high market share, even if you are a millennial, then you address a general target. In other countries, we are smaller, we are growing in the last few years, but we have a very high percentage of millennials. Well, quite impressive data is that in France, for example, we, and not Sephora, which is a French brand, we are the favorite brand of millennials for makeup articles. So very young and very creative. And Milan, does it help in the brand? Yes, it is helping us abroad, not in Italy. It is helping us a lot. But what do we want to be? We want to be a high quality brand, an Italian brand at an affordable price. This also, this the idea, so the fact that Milan is in our name, thanks to advertising campaign, allowed us to set up this Italianness. We are ambassadors, affordable ambassadors. That is our self-definition. Kiko has also a minority fund. The majority fund is the family, the owner, the owning family. Apart from financial aspects, what are the contributions that you had thanks to this fund? Well, I think this opening and use of capitals makes the governance, the board of directors of a company more complete. I mean, the idea of capital and equity, for example, yeah, this is always useful, but it also brings a lot of knowledge. For example, in a private equity that we have, and they do very well in the Middle East, for example, in Asia. They brought us a lot of contacts, a lot of networks, and more generally, they also helped this company growing and having a more sophisticated governance also for the internationalization process. So you have two shareholders, the fund and the family, all right? But the family, is the family still working? So are they still operational, or are they just shareholders? I think Mr. Carcassi, who is the president, has a great vision. And he decided to open up to the external management and for the capital as well. This was a very aware, conscious choice. He wanted to be an active shareholder. This was his role within the company. He is really enlightened as a businessman, so he wanted to have a lot of strategy for this company. And he was also committed for Atalanta as a football team, for example. He had a lot of satisfactions from Atalanta as a football team. Well, where do you see it in the future with other funds or maybe on the stock exchange? Well, this is something, this is a question I should address to a shareholder. But anyway, what is your idea? Yes, this is a choice that must be made by the shareholder. Well, I think it's still too early to say something like that. After turnaround, after 2019, we started thinking about next steps. So we asked ourselves, what's next? COVID had an impact on the results, on the outcomes last year, but also this year, the first 4 months. So every choice is a premature, so it's too early to make such choices. And then stock exchange and all the other further developments. Well, I think in the first this year and also the first half year next year will be quite difficult because we have a lot of restrictions. A couple of days ago, we decided, we read an article about France and we saw the decisions that were made by France. Yes, this has also an impact on turnovers. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Congratulations for this turnaround, and I wish you all the best.